Yo, what's goody? What's goody? Latrell in a hoodie, and welcome to another episode of the Brother Next Door podcast, where we talk about finance, personal development, skills to get you further in life through actionable steps, and my own personal experiences. In this episode, we are talking about documenting the process and just documentation for future conversation. Right? I think it's very important that we document the process. I think it's very important that we document the process in every aspect of our life. Right? Whether it's in business, whether it's in the gym, whether it's in our personal lives, whatever. I think it's very important that we start documenting the process if we haven't started now. So I'm gonna start giving you some reasons and some examples of why it is important to document the process. So this may be like, why aren't we talking about finances? Finances is a part of documenting the process, right? So just stick with me for this episode, and I think you'll get a lot of value from it, right? First thing, have you ever had a situation where you were doing something or, experienced something and you just forgot how to do it? But you've already done it before? Like you've done the task before, you just forgot how to do it? That's a great example. It's happened to me all the time. That's a great reason why it's important to document the process, right? At my job, it happens all the time. Some of this stuff is very repetitive, and some of the stuff happens few and far between. Talking to the engineer, he's like, yeah, some stuff I haven't done in 6, 7 years. And it's like you only do it like one time, and then 6, 7 years, you completely forget. And then you have to start the whole process all over again of doing the research, trying to figure out how to do it, figuring it out. And then if you don't document the process, what's gonna happen? Another 6, 7 years gonna pass by, and you're gonna forget again how to do that. So I think it's very important that we have pen and pad out or iPad out or whatever, doing it on the computer and just documenting your process. That's what I started doing recently. I should have been doing that from the jump, but just recently with the last project that I started with building programs, I started laying out every single problem I've had and giving a solution to every single problem. That way, when those problems do arise again, I know exactly how to do it. Or when another intern comes in and they have the same problems, okay, here's a whole notebook of all the problems I've had. You should be able to find your problem and a solution to that problem in that notebook. And if not, then let's work through it together, figure it out, and add it to that journal, right? So you can call it what you want. You can call it a journal, you can call it a diary, you can call it whatever you want. But I think going into the personal side of things, it's important to document your processes throughout life, right? I got a journal. I don't do it every day, but definitely when something major happens in my life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a new job, whether it's school's really kicking my butt, like if it's something very significant, then I'll document it. Why? Because I know other people are going through the same thing, right? Your problems are not new. Your your the combination of the problems you are dealing with is unique to you, but each individual problem that you're facing is not new to this world, fam. I'm telling you, somebody else has gone through it. And so that's why I think it's important that when you do go through something important, or even not, even if something not that crazy happened, like I think it's still crucial to document that process. That way, if somebody does come to you for help, or someone does come to you for advice on something, then you can give a crystal clear answer on how you dealt with that situation. Whether it is a breakup, whether it is getting a new job, whether it is keeping a job, whether it is starting your financial journey, keeping your financial journey, teaching other people how to go about their financial journey. I think it's crucial that we have these things written down. That way we don't have to take up all our memory trying to remember every single thing, because we're not, right? That's just reality. We're not going to remember every last thing we did or every last thing we went through to the T. Or at least I'm not. My memory's not that great, so I gotta document. But I think it's a great idea for you to do the same thing. And the reason I'm talking on this is an entrepreneur, Matty J. He was talking, and he's very big. I think his nickname is Mr. Document the Process, and he gave an example a couple months ago, or maybe a couple years ago at this point. But he was talking about his Turo business and how he goes about washing his cars, and rather than them just pouring the soap into the buckets, now they have these little pumps, right? And so now he systemized how much soap is used for each car, right? Or at least each bucket. And so he talked about how he went on Amazon, got the pumps. So now it's like, okay, only do 3 or 4 pumps rather than wasting, half a gallon or a quarter gallon of soap when you don't even need that much, right? And so that's another way is in business, whether you're a small startup or you're a big companies also standardize processes. Why? So everybody's on the same exact page. No matter where you go, no matter what plant you go or what location you go, the processes are very similar, right? On a big scale. On a small scale, you're just starting out and you're starting to get people on your team. Cool. You should have a process for them. How did you do it? How has it been working for you? If it's been working great for you, okay, great. Teach those guys or girls exactly how you did it through documentation. Write it down, give it to them. Okay, this is how I did it. If you find a better way of doing it or improving it, cool, great. It's not meant to be written in stone, but it's meant for a guideline of going through each process. And so even through business, like even with this podcast, I have a specific way of how I edit the podcast. I have a specific way of recording the podcast. I have a specific way of getting people on the podcast and interviewing them and how I go about interviewing them. And so all these things are what's it called? Processes that I am documenting. That way when I start, releasing courses and different things on podcasting, I know exactly how I did it. I know exactly what worked for me, and I can pass that knowledge on to the next person. And even better, I know what kind of worked or what didn't work. Okay, let me go back to this process. I'm stuck here on not getting many followers, or I'm stuck here on the content's not good. Okay, what's my process? Okay, what can I do differently in this process? If I'm trash and I don't know why I'm trash, and I don't have nothing to really look at to determine why I'm trash besides the content, it's gonna be a lot harder for me to grow. But if I have the content, I have written down what my processes are from the idea of the podcast or the idea of the episode to getting the person on to, hey, this is what we're going to talk about, the pre-recording interview or conversation to the actual conversation during the podcast to end to editing. If I don't have all those processes laid out and clear, it's going to be a lot harder for me to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and what I can tweak, right? And so we're just we're just going down the line, and I'm trying to give y'all different areas of your life where you can utilize this. Like I said, you can utilize this in every single aspect. Gym, I'm big on going to the gym. Another area where you can document the process. Whether you want to be a social media influencer with the, gym stuff, or you're just focused on yourself, document the process. Understand, scroll down a little bit. Understand when it comes to going to the gym, you should know exactly what weight you did. Okay. So let me give you an example first. So when I started going to the gym right after high school going into college, I saw a lot of gains because I was documenting every single day how much weight I was doing, how many reps I was doing, when I was failing during the like I was being very intentional and very specific when it came to journaling at the gym. That way I knew, hey, on the fourth set at about rep 8 when I'm supposed to go to 12, I'm stopping. Okay, let's go down and let's go down 5, 10 pounds. Let's see if I can get all 12 on that third set next time. Okay, I got it. Cool. Now let's move up, another 5 pounds. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now I'm getting stuck at 9, 10. Okay, let's stay there for a little minute until I can work my way up. And so that's what I did. And I saw, major gains because it's just progressive overload. But if you're if you're forgetting how much weight you're doing week to week, it's going to be very hard for you to progressively overload consistently because you're either adding on too much weight the next week or not adding enough weight or doing the same exact weight. So it's a lot of things that you have to think about and really consider when it comes to the gym. Now, if you just going to the gym, going to cycling class, cool, that's great. But if you want to push yourself, okay, I'm going to cycling class. Okay, what can I do this time? How did I feel during the cycling class? How can I get better? How can I better my stamina? Document that process. And then it's like, okay, the 47th day, I was finally able to complete the entire, cycling class without having to stop or take a break or anything like that. You can document that, right? And so it doesn't just apply to weights, but it also applies to cardio. It also applies to abs, circuit workouts, all that stuff. And so it's crucial to document your process in every single aspect of your life. I'm going to keep repeating it until it gets into your head, right? Yeah, that's really about it. Really? Yeah, that's really about it. Understand what you measure is what you treasure, right? Understand what you measure is what you treasure. And so if you treasure the gym, if you treasure your finances, you want to be measuring, okay, how do I get to this specific goal? What is it going to take for me to get to this specific goal? Where am I at now? Where do I want to be? Okay, how am I going to get there? That's you measuring. And then you documenting the process is you, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. You're comparing the expectation to reality, right? You're comparing what you think it should take to what it's actually requiring of you. And then it's like, okay, I should be here. Why am I not here yet? Okay, what am I doing wrong? Or what am I doing right? Or did I, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Did I overextend myself when it came to the planning part of it, right? Did I think too big when it came to the planning? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You're still making progress. So there's nothing wrong with not meeting deadlines or not or no, I ain't gonna say that. There's nothing wrong with not meeting your goals exactly. But you should be comparing, okay, where where do I think I should be to where I am? And okay, am I at that point? Am I below that point? Okay, how do I get to that point? Or if I succeed at that point, okay, great. Can I get to this goal a lot faster? And now that you documented the process, now that you know, okay, this is what everybody on social media, all these courses I've taken, this is what I got from all that. This is what I did. This worked better for me. Now let me teach other people how to do it my way because it just happened to work better for me, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean create a course and do all that, but even with friends and family, like, oh, you got into really good shape real quick. How did you do it, right? Not how did the social media influence you watched did it, not from the course. How did you do it? And now you have a specialized plan on how you did it, and you can tell them exactly how you did it, right? And so that's just the power of being able to document the process, is being able to tell people exactly your journey and how you went about it, right? Now, take inspiration from other people that have been successful and have done great things, but there's going to be a specific mixture, a specific process that you're going to go through that nobody else will go through, right? You're going to go through similar experiences as other people. You're going to go through similar challenges, but that mixture of your life and all the problems that come with the journey that you're trying to take, all that's going to be very specific for you. And so it's crucial that you document your process. That way you know how you got there. That way when people do ask you, you know exactly what it took to get there. And you can give it to them, and then they document their own process using some of the information that you gave them. Right? And so that's really the end of the conversation, fam. Everybody's a good storyteller. Everybody has the potential to be a great storyteller, right? Everybody has the potential to tell useful, important stories, give useful and good advice, but people just don't document. And so people forget those stories, people forget those lessons that they've learned and how they gotten through it because they just didn't document it. And so that's why I focus more on the big events, the big life changes in my life. That way I could pass it on to that way I can pass it on to you, really. Pass it on to you listening right now. And so just keep that in mind. Pass it on to your kids. Like that's my plan. Like I'm taking like I bought like a leather brown real nice journal, and I'm just documenting the most influential pieces of information, whether it's from books, whether it's from audiobooks, whether it's from conferences, whether it's from just my own personal experiences, just documenting everything. And it's just a living document right now. And just documenting everything. That way, when I pass away, that way, when I go, there's a nice leather book left on this earth from me that says, hey, this is what I went through. This is how I got through it. This is how I made it to where I'm at, whether it's real successful, real famous. I don't know what, God has planned for me, but wherever I end up, or even if it's just, regular schmegler doing amazing things, wherever I end up, it's like, okay, how did my father, how did my grandfather, how did my great great grandfather get to where he was in life? How did he deal with breakups? How did he deal with managing finances? How did he deal with living, in 2023, 2022, going through a pandemic, going through all these different things, going through a financial crisis, going through whatever? How did he deal with all these things and get to where he was? And I just want to be able to leave that for my family. So I think it's a great thing to do. I think it's a great opportunity to leave, a legacy, leave something for your family that's free, right? All it's taken up is, an hour of your time, whether it's every week or every month, whatever the case may be, whatever it may be for you, but just taking that time to document your life and just, hey, this is how I got through my life. And just being able to pass that down. Not necessarily, hey, here's $100,000 for college, or here's, a house, or here's me paying for your whole wedding. That's great. That's cool. That's great goals. I have desires to do some of that for my family. But the the cheapest and I think the most influential thing you could pass down is your life story. For real. And so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. We are over. Oh yeah, we over the 15-minute mark. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Take these nuggets, run with them, fam. Document the process, whatever process that may be for you, whether it's in the fitness, whether it's business, whether it's personal. Document the process, because there's a plethora of reasons, valuable reasons to do so. So I hope you truly take this information in. I hope you truly apply this information and run with it and use it in your life, and let me know, 5, 10, 30 years down the road how it has impacted your life, and we'll go from there. If you're getting value from the podcast, there's a link down in the description where you can donate $1, $5, or $10 every single month. That's just a Chipotle bowl, fam. Every single month for the value I'm feeding y'all every single week. And so that's all I ask for y'all. If you don't want to, cool. Leave a like. If you don't want to do that, at least what's it called? Do a I can't even think of the name. Leave a review, right? Leave a review in the podcasting platforms. Let me know how much you love the show. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Let me know constructive criticism. Don't just try to tear a brother down. Give me some constructive criticism on what I can do better, and we will improve. So with that, y'all take it easy. Peace.